Hi guys, I'm Tyler Capozzi here today at the Rangemaster Tactical Conference 2014. We're here with Chuck Haggard and we're going to be going over some stuff with OC. So Chuck, what is a brief background on yourself and how you've had experience with OC?
I've been a law enforcement officer for 27 years. Was introduced to OC spray in a law enforcement context about 1989. I became a trainer for my department, and I've been involved in training, OC training since then. I'm also a defensive tactics instructor. I was 18 years on our SWAT team, in which one of the jobs that I had was our chemical munitions guy. I'm also a trainer for National Law Enforcement Training Center, and I assisted with developing our curriculum for the instructor training that we do through that organization.
Okay. And how many times have you been sprayed?
In training, more than 60 times in various instructor trainings that I've had OC exposure. I have been sprayed with pretty much every major product on the market that's available.
And what was it you were telling us about every single time?
It sucks every single time.
I can imagine. So what we kind of want to do is gear this video towards our civilians and kind of give them an idea of what the options are out there and who should be carrying it. So could we quickly go over the different types of choices that they have and maybe what they would want to carry?
There's all kinds of different types of pepper spray deployment options. There's very, very small keychain options. There's the larger ones that are more, that would fit like a coat pocket or something like that, or the size that most cops would carry on their duty belt. When you're looking at choices, you have a variety of deployment options. You might have a cone-shaped mist, you might have a gel or a foam, you might have a streamer of the liquid OC, a variety of different sizes of canisters. The different styles and the different sizes of canisters depend. I mean, what you choose kind of depends on what your needs are. To steal a quote from Pat Rogers, the mission drives the gear train. So what you need it to do would be geared towards what choices you'd probably want to make.
Right. Okay. And then as far as the whole wasp spray as using it as a self-defense spray, what's your opinion on that?
I advise against it. The use of OC spray is a less lethal or less than lethal. I believe OC spray to be a non-lethal defensive tool. In the police world, it's used at very, very low levels of force, at equal to empty hand use of force. If we can articulate that somebody's going to try and fist fight us, that would be at the point where we start to use an OC spray to defend ourselves or to take the suspect into custody. And it would be a similar, that's where similarly in a civilian or concealed carry situation where you would want to use that. It's clearly not deadly force or be inappropriate for a deadly force situation. So that's where a spray would be good to introduce. Now, if you're using wasp spray or hornet spray, that type of thing, those are, all bug sprays are a variation of an organophosphate, which is a very, very, very weak form of what you find in like nerve agents, like sarin gas. You have the potential for blinding somebody. Blinding somebody permanently would be the level of death or great bodily harm. So what you're doing is you have a spray that you're introducing, it becomes a level very close to deadly force. I believe that if you're not in a deadly force situation, that would be a bad idea to be blinding people or risking blinding people. And if you are in a deadly force situation, and I'm not talking about some surprise attack and that's your only option, but if you are in a deadly force situation, then why would you not be using your firearm if you're a concealed carry person?
Right. And that kind of leads into the next question, which is we want to train with our guns, so why would we not incorporate that over to our pepper spray? So if we're carrying our pepper spray, we should train with that as well. What options do people have for training with pepper spray?
There's a number of options, and pretty good ones too. That inert spray is easily available from almost all the manufacturers that you would want to choose pepper spray from. like some of the different refillable canisters have where you can get the live agent and you can get a canister of inert, so that you can use the inert for like a form of target practice or scenario training, and then carry the real stuff, you know, in real life.
I'll show you a little target practice drill where I think that the value of inert is to training. Would anybody here, and it happens in the police world, would you issue or recruit a gun and the first time they get to shoot it is when they go out on the street? No, that's just stupid, right? What tended to happen with pepper spray training is you went to this is pepper spray, it's your friend, and this is how you do it. And then we do an exposure, which I think is a very important part of training. The first pepper spray exposure of a police officer on my department was a call where 2 officers go to SRS because they have to take some children into protective custody from a lady that's losing custody. She doesn't know the cops are coming. She sees the cops walk into the office. She knows the gig's up. She pulls one of them little purse canisters out, sprays both of our guys down. That was our first exposure to pepper spray of any type on my department. One officer ended up on the floor in a fetal position. I would argue that this is not a good tactical response. So one of the little drills that we do, I will be your bad guy. And he's like Joe Concealed Carry. He's got a lethal force option. He's got his less lethal option. And you've done like muck and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It says inert, right?
Training.
Okay. So what happens is I set up the scenario, and let's say for a civilian context, I'll be the bad guy, and like if you've seen any of Craig's muck stuff, like, hey buddy, give me $1.
Hey, could you hold up a
and you're
second?
like, hey, hold up. And he might say something like, buddy, stay back. And at some point, I'm going to encroach into his danger area, and he's going to deploy spray. So that scenario would be like, hey buddy, give me $1.
Hey, could you hold up a second?
Hey,
Hey, stop there.
motherfucker.
Back up!
Give me
Back
$1.
up!
So, man, that stuff's a little more stingy than I thought. What we have is a bullseye, right? Did he effectively deploy pepper spray on me? He did. So we'll use this one to show just the different effects of the different patterns, if you will. So now, yeah, that one's actually. I've not been hit with that inert before. The other stuff's just minty fresh. This one's like really stingy. It stings. Hey buddy, give me $1.
Hey, could you hold up a second?
Yeah, no.
Hey, stop right
give me
there.
$1.
Back up!
Oh, you.
Stop!
And I don't have my dummy knife, but typically I would. You can see how the scenario would play out. So what he's been able to do is work his target practice with his pepper spray. We've been able to score our target, okay, because he's got the little droplets all over the glasses. And just like when we do with handguns, we got a standard response, like 2 to the body. We got like failure drills, 2 to the body, 1 to the head, or pelvis shots. There's different ways to do failure drills. So what we can do, we can easily do with the inert spray and the cheap dollar store safety glasses, we can do a little target acquisition drill where we have muck or some variation of that, and you can spray your bad guy, and now the first time I effectively deployed pepper spray is not in a live scenario.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
There's a lot of myths out there about OC spray, a lot of commonly held beliefs that I run into that I have to debunk in the training that I do. I would tell you that it's not as simple as you buy a canister, you press a button, it sprays. What else is there to know? There's quite a bit to know to effectively utilize pepper spray as a defensive tool, and I'm a big fan of training and people getting training so that they can effectively protect themselves.
Right, our training is very important.
I agree.
Yep. So thanks again for going over everything with us. Sure appreciate it. I'm Tyler with Cross Tactical, and we're promoting a safer community through the responsible training of armed citizens.